sermon. Oh, applause in just a moment. You just heard the Sermon on the Mount. And Lili is going to preach to us today and talk to us about a gentleman who lived a long time ago named Rumi. He was truly a person who epitomizes the words from Jesus' mouth in the Sermon on the Mount. So, Lili.
Happy Valentine's Day. Today I want to speak to you about love, and my message is pretty simple, and I hope that at the end you'll be able to appreciate it with me. Every Monday night after school for the past 6 months, I've been attending a Persian poetry class. In this class, people of my age and I gather, read and discuss legendary mystical Persian poetry. The setting of my class is really informal. It's kind of like a book club with a forum open for discussion and opinion from everyone. Recently, my class started reading poems written by Rumi, a very celebrated and renowned poet in the Persian culture. Rumi, or rather, Maulana Jalaluddin Muhammad al-Rumi, was born in an eastern province in the former Persian Empire. His family was of the noble class. His father was a rich merchant and his mother was royalty. So for Rumi, life was pretty good growing up. He had all he needed to thrive. By age 30, he was a prominent merchant with 2 wives and 4 children. His lifestyle was ideal for a man of his time. When he was in his late 30s, Rumi met Shams, a spiritual holy man and wanderer of the desert. Although little is known about how the two met initially, Rumi and Shams became immediately inseparable. Shams took Rumi in as his spiritual student, teaching him about God and the greater virtues associated with him, the most important of which was love. However, all great things have an ending, and eventually Shams died. When he did, Rumi lost emotional control and went on a writing rampage. Within the 25-year period after Shams' death, Rumi wrote 70,000 lines of poetry. All of this poetry was themed around describing God in terms of love, which was the central virtue in all of Rumi's spiritual education. Historically speaking, this theme of writing was a milestone because Rumi was the first person to connect God and spirituality to love. One thing that is so appealing about Rumi's work is that it's non-denominational. In other words, the messages that he presents in his poetry are meant to appeal to all people from all walks of life. He speaks neither to the Hindu, nor the Muslim, nor the Christian, nor the Jew. Rather, he speaks to all humanity by using the language of love. In one of Rumi's most famous stories, love is represented through the relationship between 2 characters. These 2 characters, a slave named Lokman and his master, who was a wealthy king, share a great amount of admiration for each other. In the story, this admiration is channeled into a strong, brotherly, and loving bond between Lokman and the king. In fact, the 2 are so close that whenever the master wants to do anything, he requires Lokman's judgment and approval before proceeding. To clarify my point, I'll read the actual story for you, translated into English. Lokman's master, a great and noble king, used to prefer Lokman to all other slaves in work of service. He even deemed Lokman to be better than his own sons. Whatever food was brought to the great king would be immediately sent to Lokman so that he might try it and approve of it first. After Lokman had eaten, the remnants would be given to the king. On the contrary, any food that Lokman disliked, the master would immediately throw away. On the rare occasion that the master did eat the unwanted food, he did so without heart and without appetite. One day, a member of the court brought the master a melon as a present. "Go, my son," said the master, "and call Lokman." Then, the master cut the melon into 18 pieces and, when Lokman arrived, gave him a slice to try. Lokman ate the melon as if it were sugar and honey. On account of the pleasure with which he ate it, the king gave him a second slice. This process repeated itself until 17 slices had been consumed. One slice remained. The king then said, "I will eat this myself, so that I may see what a sweet melon this is. Since Lokman eats it with such pleasure, it has made my mouth water." As soon as the master ate it, his throat burned with an intense fire of bitterness that was produced by the bad taste of the melon. He was speechless for a few moments on account of this taste. Then he turned to Lokman and said, "O you who are my soul and world, how did you make all of this poison an antidote? How did you deem this cruelty to be kindness? How come you were so patient with this awful tasting melon? Why are you so brave? Or are you purposely trying to hurt yourself by eating this? Why did you not plead in anguish, saying, 'Please don't make me eat this melon'?" To this, Lokman replied, "O great one, from your bountiful hand I have eaten so much that I am bent double with shame. I was ashamed not to eat one bitter thing from your hand, my master. Since all parts of me have grown from you, if I were ever to complain because of one bitter thing, I would hope that the dust of 100 dirt roads would pile on top of me. The melon that you gave me so generously had the enjoyment of your loving, caring, and sugar-bestowing hand. How could such enjoyment leave any bitterness in this melon for me to taste?" Oh friends, the story of Lokman should relate to love in this way. Only through love do dregs become clear. Only through love do pains become healing. Only through love is the dead made living. Only through love do pieces of copper become golden. Only through love do bitter things become sweet. In this poem, Rumi is relaying a simple message to us. He says that in order to take something bad and make it good, one just has to add love. Lokman realized this, and as a result, he was able to take the bitter melon and change its taste into something sweet and delectable. The goodness of the world, whether in God or in you, is love. Love is merciful, compassionate, graceful, healing, and kind. Everything that makes us virtuous as humans is a product of love. Love has no race, no religion, no gender. Love is universal. Today is Valentine's Day. It is meant to be celebrated between you and your family, your friends, and your God. To show them what they mean to you, just remember to be kind. Remember to be patient in times of frustration. Remember their compassion towards you. Remember all that they have done for you. Remember all that they have given you. But most importantly, remember to recognize their kindness and remember to return the favor. On June 25th, 1967, 4 young and talented musicians opened the eyes of the world with a song titled, "All You Need Is Love." In reality, the Beatles were singing about the same idea that Rumi and his poetry represented an entire 800 years before. Simply put, love is everything. Thank you.